नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome all of you to our weekly Bhagavad Gita reading session. So basically what we are doing, we are reading Bhagavad Gita daily and weekly we summarize whatever we have read throughout the week. We are currently now in chapter 1. Last week we have summarized from verse number 1 to 11, and today we will discuss from 12 to 20. So before that, before we begin our today's session, let's have a quick recap of our last discussions. So Bhagavad Gita begins with Dhritarashtra's question to Sanjaya. That is verse 1.1. Dharma khetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavah mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurbata Sanjaya. Otherwise, although this seems a redundant question, Dhritarashtra is asking here, "O Sanjaya, both my sons and sons of Pandu assemble in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetra, which is a place of pilgrimage. What did they do? Although they are desiring to fight, what did they do?" So here Dhritarashtra is very much aware that they have assembled here desiring to fight. And then why he is asking this question? What did they do? Because he has a lot of doubt. This comes from the significance of Dharma Khetra. He is very much aware that this battlefield, Kurukshetra, is a Dharma Khetra. Hence he is addressing it as Dharma Khetre Kurukshetra. So, what is the importance of this Dharma Khetra? In this place of Kurukshetra, King Kuru has attempted to plant dharma, attempted to grow dharma. Hence, this place is called Dharma Khetra. So, various in the Vedic literature, this place has a lot of importance and glory. Not even the common man, but the heavenly inhabitants also come to this place to perform various sacrifices and meditations and all sorts of dharmic religious rituals. So he is doubtful that this place might influence his sons. What kind of influence? Because he is pretty much aware that his sons are miscreants, not in the side of Dharma, whereas Pandavas are in the side of Dharma. No matter, he do not underestimate the power of the place. He is doubting that this place might influence my sons to compromise. They might change their mind and they might agree to the peace proposal of Pandava. But he doesn't want that. Rather, he is thinking, oh, Pandavas are very virtuous. The place will even influence them. Let it influence them more and more, and let them do not fight and make a compromise and go to the forest. So he is hoping that. And on the other side, he is also fearful because he knew that this dharma, because this Kurukshetra is a religious place, this will not favorably, this will not favor his sons, because his sons are not in the side of dharma. So if war will be fought, then his sons might get defeat. So he is fearful of that. And he is also desirous because he wants the kingdom at any way. Dhritarashtra, he who holds the Rashtra, he holds the kingdom. Dhrita means holds, Rashtra means kingdom. Very tightly. He cannot think of him and his sons without the throne of Hastinapur. So a lot of things are going in his mind. That's the reason he is asking this question, which is seemingly a redundant question, but it has a lot of deeper meaning. We had seen that in the verse 1. And then in 2 to 11, we had seen how Duryodhan is comparing the armies of both sides. In response to the inquiry of Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya begins from verse 2. And Sanjaya could understand what is all that going on in the heart of Dhritarashtra. Just to encourage the king, Sanjaya started the verse 2, "O my king, no, Duryodhan is not compromising. Rather, Duryodhan is going to his guru, the teacher, Dronacharya, to consult. So, war is going to begin. Don't be so anxious." So, in that way, he is encouraging the despondent king Dhritarashtra. In this briefing, Duryodhan, Sanjaya is explaining Dhritarashtra what are the activities going on there. From verse number 2 to 11, we have seen how Duryodhan is a great diplomat. And in these verses, it is clearly evident that Duryodhan is very fearful after seeing the armies of Pandava. And today we will discuss from 12 to 19 verse, which shows the signs of various signs of Pandava's victory. And in this section, we will see various conch shells are blown by both the sides. So what we have seen in verse 11, that Bhishma blew the conch shell Bhishma blew the conch shell, Singhanadang Vinodvachai Sankham Dadmau Pratapavan. In order to encourage Duryodhan, Bhishma blew the conch shell. At the same time, he is giving the indication that, O Duryodhan, you have no chance of win. And because why? Because Lord Krishna is in the side of Pandavas. And the conch shell represents the worship, the blowing of conch shell represents the worship of Lord Vishnu. So in that way, he is also offering his worship to Lord Vishnu before the beginning of the war. Yeah, sorry, this is verse 12. So verse 12, let me recite. Tasya sanjanayana harsam kirubruddha pitamaha singhanadam vinodvachai sankham dadmau pratapava. So in that way, Bhishma is blowing his conch shell very loudly to encourage the fearful Duryodhan. This is Bhishma's compassion towards Duryodhan. And as we discussed right now, that Duryodhan was very fearful and his defeat is certain because Krishna is on the side of Pandava. So Bhishma's blowing conch shell represents that. And why Bhishma is fighting in the side of Kauravas? Because he is duty bound. Because of his vow to protect the throne of Hastinapur, whoever will be ruling the Hastinapur kingdom, he will give protection to that person. So because of his duty bound, he is fighting in the side of Kauravas. And thereafter in verse 13, Tataha sankhascha veryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasaivabhya hanyanta sa sabdastumulo bhavat. Thereafter, everyone started blowing their conch shells, different type of conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns, all were blown. And sa sabdas tumulo abhavat, a tumultuous sound, just after Bhishma blew the conch shell, all others joined the party by blowing different type of conch shell, and it made a great tumultuous sound. And thereafter, in verse 14, Lord Krishna is making his grand entry. Tataha swateir haire yukte mahati syandane sthitau madhavah pandavasyaiva divyau sankhau pradatmatuhu. Tataha swateir haire yukte mahati syandane sthitau madhava pandavasyaiva divyau sankhau pradatmatu. Here it is begin with, thereafter, tata swatir means the white horses, hair horses, yukte, mahati syandane, the great chariot. So we might have seen in the Bollywood movies, when hero is about to make his entry, the camera will project it towards, the shoes of the hero. And then the hero might be running and chasing the villain. The camera will project towards the backside of the hero. and hero will be chasing. And at the time when he's approaching the villain, okay, and the camera will suddenly, directed towards the face, and the crowd will, stand and overwhelm in joy. Yeah. This is how, it's a very poetic style. This Bhagavad Gita also begins with this Sveter Haire Yukte. It begins with the white horses, and then pointing towards the Mahati Sandani, then chariot. Then goes to Madhava Pandava Shaiva, means Madhava, Krishna, and Pandava, Arjuna. Dibhyav Sankho Pradatmat. What they did, they also believe their counsel in the other side. But here, their counsel is addressed as Dibhyav. That means it is transcendental. Krishna is transcendental. His counsel is also transcendental. And Krishna's devotee are also in transcendental platform. Hence, Arjuna's counsel is also transcendental. Then, here we had seen that Krishna here is addressed as Madhava. Just keep it in mind. At the end of, towards the end of the session, we will summarize the various names and their meanings by which Krishna is addressed in this chapter 1. In verse 15, thereafter, other Pandavas also believe their counsel. Lord Krishna believe, okay, we had just seen here the name of the conch is mentioned. Lord Krishna believe Panchajanya, Arjuna believe Devadatta, and Bhima believe Poundra. Panchajanyam Hrishikesho Devadatam Dhananjaya Poundram Dadmo Mahasankham Bhima Karma Brikodara. So Panchajanya is the conch's name of Krishna. Similarly, Devadatta is the conch's name of Arjuna. And Bhima here is addressed as Bhima Karma Brikodara. Brikodara means, Udara means belly. Brikodara means who eats plentifully, who is a voracious eater, as well as who performs Herculean task. Bhima, although he eats a lot, he also does a lot. He also does a lot of work. During the forest exile, Pandavas used to encounter a lot of ferocious animals and Rakshasas, Asuras. So Bhima used to fight with all of them. Once they encounter a demon called Hidimba. So Bhima killed the Hidimba and saved all the Pandavas from him. And at times Bhima used to take all the Pandavas and Draupadis under, means above his shoulders, and then ran like a lion. So this was the strength of Bhima. So Bhima is addressed here as Bhima Karma, who does Herculean task. He blew the conch named Poundra, Mahasankham, the great conch Poundra. Then in the 16, Ananta Vijayang Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthiraha Nakulaha Sahadevascha Subhosa Mani Puspakau. King Yudhishthir blew Ananta Vijaya, Nakula blew Subhosa, and Sahadeva blew Mani Puspaka. And Arjuna, he is also addressed here as Dhananjaya. What is the significance? Arjuna is addressed here Dhananjaya because he, when Yudhishthir was performing various sacrifices, and to perform the sacrifices or yajna, you need a lot of wealth, because a lot of charity has to be made, a lot of oblations has to be made unto the fire, a lot of brahmanas, kings has to be invited, they have to be fed sumptuously. So all that expenditure needs a lot of money. When King Yudhishthir performed Rajasuya Yajna, that is to establish his supremacy over all the king, and also to establish the supremacy of Lord Krishna, because at that sacrifice Rajasuya Yajna, Krishna was the president. He was the president. That's how his supremacy King Yudhishthir wanted to establish. So for that he need to have a lot of money. And Arjuna helped King Yudhishthir to acquire a lot of money, and he went in all directions and won a lot of wealth for King Yudhishthir. Hence he is named here as Dhananjaya. Rishikesho, Krishna here addressed as Rishikesho. Rishika means senses. Isa means director or controller. So Krishna is the controller of all the senses of the living entity. Hence, he is called Rishikesho. But Krishna will direct the senses of the living entity to that extent, to the degree to which he surrender to him. Otherwise, he will not direct his sense. Here, Krishna is directing the senses of Arjuna. Hence, the victory of Pandava is certain. And Madhava means Ma is addressed to Lakshmi, Mother Lakshmi. Dhava means husband. So Krishna is the husband of goddess of fortune, and in which side Krishna is there, the goddess of fortune also will be there. So hence there is no question of defeat for the Pandavas. And this chariot, Mahati Sandane, that great chariot, is given to Arjuna by Agnidev. Arjuna impressed the demigod Agni and got this chariot, and this chariot is capable of conquering all three worlds. So victory is certain. Krishna later in 15.7 will speak this verse, Mavaivansho jivaloke jiva bhutah sanatanaha manah sasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. Mavaivansha jivaloke, you are my parts and parcel. You are my fragment parts and parcel. Eternally. Sanatanaha. Jiva bhutah, all the living entity. You, me, all the animals, creatures, aquatics, plants, everything what we see in the universe, who has life, they are the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So everything is dependent on Krishna for existence and sustenance. Our Upanishad says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Everything is connected to the Lord Krishna. Krishna is eternal and he is Satchidananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adi Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. He is Satchidananda, hence living entity are also Satchidananda, the superior energy of the Lord. Like he is the machine, we are the screw. He is a big ocean, we are the drop of ocean. So we are similar in quality, but not in quantity. He is Vibhu, infinite. We are Anu, minute. So being in our position, being a screw, when it is attached to the whole equipment or machine, then the purpose of the screw is solved. Otherwise, it is useless. When it is connected to the machine, then machine is functioning properly. If it is not connected, then he is not doing his job. It's useless. So similarly, constitutionally, we are part and parcel of Krishna. So hence, we are always attracted towards Krishna. The soul is conscious and it is always attracted to Krishna. Either directly in the spiritual world to the form of Krishna, or indirectly here in this material world to the inferior material energy of the Krishna. Whichever way it may be, he is always attracted to Krishna only. But then when he is attracted to the spiritual energy of Krishna, that is the perfect. That is the perfection. Okay, that's how he can be leading a blissful life. Otherwise, when he is connected to the external energy of the Lord, he will be miserable. Because the material energy of the Lord is not conscious. This is an inferior energy. It is eternal, but it takes different forms. It is created, annihilated, created, annihilated. The forms are creating and annihilating. So this is not temporary. This is not permanent. This is temporary. Hence, Jiva, being eternal, is trying to find out permanent happiness in impermanent things. How is it possible? Jiva is permanent, and his attempt of getting permanent happiness, that is sensible, but he is finding it in temporary matters. So this effort will be futile. He cannot get permanent happiness in temporary matters. Rather, if he directs, if he tries to find out the permanent happiness in permanent Supreme Lord, in his Nama Rupa Guna Lila, then it is possible. So this is the significance of Rishikesh. So Krishna is all attractive, These are various names and meanings. We just discussed Rishikesha, and let us discuss Krishna. Okay. Krishna means all attractive. Krish means attraction. Na means which gives pleasure. By attracting everyone to himself and giving pleasure. This is the meaning of Krishna. Who is all attractive? The Supreme Lord is all attractive because he is Bhagavan, possessor of all the opulences to an infinite degree. Says Parasar says, Aishwaryasya samagrasya veeryasya yasasah sriyaha jnana vairagyam yaschaiva sanam bhaga itinga. Who possesses all these six opulences to an unlimited degree? Aishwaryasya samagrasya, all the wealth. Veeryasya means power. Yasa means famous, fame. Sri means beauty. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, renunciation. All are possessed by Supreme Lord to the unlimited degree. Madhava, we just discussed, husband of goddess of fortune, and Achyuta, infallible one. Achyuta means who deviates. Achyuta means who doesn't deviate. Infallible. He never deviates in giving protection towards his devotees. He doesn't deviate to show affection towards his devotees. So hence he is named as Achyuta. Madhusudana, killer of the demon named Madhu. Sudana means killing. Madhu, the name of a demon, Madhu. Govinda, go means cows, or go means senses. Vinda means giving pleasure. He who gives pleasure to the cows and senses is called Govinda. In the similar way, Goswami, what is the meaning of Goswami? Who are the master of their senses. Their senses doesn't disturb them. They are called Goswami. Whereas who are subservient towards their senses, they are called Godasa. So you have to make a journey from Godasa to Goswami by posing our attraction towards Govinda. Govinda will make us Godasa to Goswami. Vasudeva, because he is son of Vasudeva, he is named as Vasudeva. He is also known as Devaki Nandana, the son of Devaki. Yasodanandana, the son of Yasoda. Partha Sarati. Partha is the son of Pritha. Pritha is Queen Kunti. Hence, Arjuna is also known as Partha. And Krishna is known as Partha Sarati. He who is the charioteer driver of Partha. But you see, Krishna here is so lovable and so good. He doesn't hesitate to take the position of a charioteer driver of his devotee. You see, here in this material world, so Krishna is boss, and Partha is the subordinate. But here, by looking at this situation, you will presume, oh, Krishna is the charioteer driver and Arjuna is the fighter. So, who is the boss? People might be confused. But Krishna is not worried for all these things. He is not hungry for his position. Being boss also, he takes a humble position to serve his devotee. He never deviates to serve his devotee. He always looking for the opportunity because he is Achyuta. This is how our Supreme Lord is so compassionate towards his devotee. A beautiful verse comes in Bhagavatam. What is that? This comes in Bhagavatam. Yeah. Chapter 1, first canto, chapter 16, first canto, and verse number 16. What does it say? Sarathya Parsada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Virasananugama Stavana Pranaman Snigdhesu Pandosu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnor Bhaktim Karoti Nupati Charanara Vinde. After hearing the description of various roles of Krishna, when Sukadeva Goswami is describing this Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit become very much overwhelmed. So what Sukadeva Goswami is telling, oh Raja Parikshit, Krishna has taken various positions and he has served his devotees, dear Pandavas, in various capacities. Sarathya, he became the charioteer driver of Arjuna. Parsada, he took the presidency position in the assembly of Rajasuya sacrifice. Sevana, Sakhya, Dautya, he served them as friend, Sakhya. Dautya, he served them as a messenger. He took the post of a messenger and took this peace message of compromise to Duryodhana. So he has taken such position. Virasananugamana. Not only that, he has also accepted the post of a watchman. After fighting the great war, the Pandavas were tired so that they can sleep well in the night. And Krishna used to take the post of a watchman and guarding them throughout the night so that these wild animals will not come and disturb them. You see, throughout the day, Krishna is also engaged in the war. Although he is not fighting, but he is the charioteer driver. So he is neither sleeping in day nor sleeping in night. All throughout 24 hours engaged in serving the Pandavas. Not only that, just to respect the social etiquette, he also offers pranaman, offers his obeisances to King Yudhishthir, because Yudhishthir is elder to Krishna, and shows affection towards the younger Pandavas. Snigdhesu, why he does all that? Because Pandavas are snigdhesu. They are very malleable towards the will of the Lord. Snigdha means ghee. Ghee is very malleable to the will of the Supreme Lord. Hence, because Pandavas are surrendered to an unlimited degree, so Lord also reciprocates to them to that degree. Lord takes such humble position and serves the Pandavas in so many menial services also. So when after hearing these descriptions from Sukadeva Goswami, King Parikshit, Bhaktim Karoti Nupati Charanara Vinde. So the King Parikshit is developing devotion towards Krishna. Oh, he is overwhelmed with devotion. Oh, Lord Krishna, my Supreme Lord, it's so compassionate. It's so friendly. It's very difficult to find such personality. Yeah, and Krishna also addressed here Kesava. Kesava means killer of demon Kesi. Killer of demon Kesi. There are also other meanings of Kesava. Kesava, Ka means Brahma. Isa means Shiva. So who is the master of Brahma and Shiva? He is Kesava. And Kesava also, he who has beautiful curly hairs. He is also Kesava. Kesa is hair, He who has beautiful curly hair is Kesava. And often Bhishma Pitamaha used to address Krishna as Kesava. Janardhan means two meaning here, who is the maintainer of all living entities or killer of all living entities. Jana, Ardhana or Ardhana. That's how in Sanskrit the Sandhi takes place. So Janardhana is the maintainer of all living entities. And killer of all living entities means he kills the material bodies of the living entities and awards them the spiritual bodies. Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya referred to Arjuna, we just discussed. Partha, we discussed. Gudakesa. Gudaka means sleep. Isa means the master or conqueror. Who has conquered the sleep, he is Gudakesa. Arjuna, while they were in the ashrama of Dronacharya and they were learning various military skills, and Arjuna emerged as a great bowman, great archer of all time, and he became very affectionate to teacher Dronacharya. Dronacharya used to give special attention to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna was enduring a lot. He used to take a lot of pain and not sleeping throughout the night. So he is called Gudakesa, who conquers sleeps. Another meaning of Gudaka is ignorance. Isa, so that means who has conquered the ignorance or sleep is Gudakesa. Brikodara, we had also discussed, is voracious eater or performs Herculean tasks. There is a beautiful story comes in Mahabharata explaining this. Arjuna in the night used to do this archery, and in one night he's hearing some sounds from one corners, and then while he is following towards that sound, he discovered that in great darkness he found Bhima is eating the laddu. So he was surprised. How come, everybody is sleeping, but this Bhima, how come he is able to see in darkness? And how come he is able to find out where the laddu? And not only that, he is also able to eat. So how come all that is possible in darkness? So that gave inspiration to Arjuna. Oh, if you have a strong willpower, if you have a strong urge to achieve something, if you endeavor, then perfection will come. Because God sees our actual endeavor behind the attempt, behind any. If we are endeavoring to a greater extent, that God will be impressed and award us results. And we should not think that, everything we achieved just because of my endeavor. No. we have to give up the mentality of a passionate achiever. Rather, we have to cultivate a mindset of grateful receiver. Because everything that comes to us is ultimately awarded by the Supreme Lord. Thereafter, in verse 16 to 18, we have seen the 16, and then 17, 18, various other kings have also believed their counsel. Kasyascha Parameswasa Sikhannicha Maharatha Drishtadumna Viratascha Satvakischa Parajita. This is 17. Then Drupado Draupadayascha Saravasah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahavaho Shankhan Dadmo Pruthak Pruthak. All of them separately believe their counsel. The king of Kasi, Sikhandi, Drishtadumna, Satvaki, Drupada, and sons of Draupadi, then Abhimanyu, all that is mentioned here. Then in verse 19, Saghosha Dhartarashtanam Hidayani Vedaret Navascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Venunadaya. And all these sounds of the counsels shattered the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra. Because these blowing of the conchs are so uproarious that it shattered the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra. Hridayani Vyadaret Dhartarashtran. This is also a sign of victory. Because when the Kaurava side blew their counsels, the Pandavas' hearts were not shattered. Because the devotee is always sheltered unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Hence, he is not fearful. There is nothing to fear. One who is taking shelter of the Lord has nothing to fear. Then in verse 20, Atha vyavasthitan drishtva dhartarashtan kapidvajaha prabrute shastra sampade dhanur udyama pandavaha hrishikesam tadavakyam idamaha mahipate. Then Arjuna is ready to fight because on the both the side conchs are blown and the war is about to begin and Arjuna is about to shoot his arrows. But then Arjuna is thinking for a moment. Arjuna is thinking for a moment and telling to Krishna, "Oh my dear Krishna, can you bring the chariot towards the middle of the both armies?" That we will see from next class. So here Arjuna is being very thoughtful. Before he engages himself in fight, he is thinking over. So this is how we should also be cultivating in any of our work. Before we begin any work, we have to analyze, we have to be thoughtful, we have to estimate the pros and cons. This is how we can learn from here, Arjuna. Kapidhwaja, here one word is coming, Kapidhwaja, you see, Kapidhwaja. So basically, Lord Hanuman, he is residing in the flag of Arjuna. There comes a beautiful story in Mahabharata. Once Arjuna went to Rameswaram and he was thinking, oh, why Lord Rama built this setu using the stones by monkeys? He could have made it very easily by letting a bed of arrows. So while he is thinking that, the monkey came and challenged, "Oh Arjuna, why you are so proud of yourself? I know you are a great archer, but what did Supreme Personality did, that is all right. And do you think you can make the bed of arrow? That will not be sustained. You please try. And they challenged each other. And Arjuna told, oh, if I cannot make a bed of arrows, which will act as a bridge, then I will commit suicide. Then monkey told, no, you cannot. If you will, then I will serve you as your servant. Then Arjuna tried. Then the monkey, means Hanuman, he every time gone over it and the bridge was breaking. So Arjuna tried it several times, but not able to make a bed. And then Arjuna is about to commit suicide. Then Brahmana appeared. Brahmana told, oh, you both have challenged each other, but there is no arbitrator. Let me be a sakshi. I will observe, and you again try. Then again Arjuna tried, but the great Brahmana, he was giving the support to the bed of arrows. And when monkey king, means this Hanuman, he was gone over this bridge, then this time bridge is not falling down. The bridge is completely strong. Then both of them recognized that here is the Supreme Lord. Hanuman recognized him as Rama, and Arjuna recognized him as Krishna, and they both bowed down and they were very offended. And Krishna that time revealed and told, oh, you should not indulge in such challenge. So the underlying principle is, it is him, the Supreme Lord. It is because of his desire, he glorifies the devotees or any other person, whatever he achieves in the life. If he is not willing, nobody can achieve anything. So that's how he broke the proud of both Arjuna and Hanuman. And then he ordered Hanuman, oh Hanuman, as you promised, you have to now serve Arjuna. So when Arjuna will be fighting Kurukshetra war, you have to serve him by residing in the flag of his chariot. So when Bhima used to roar, then Hanuman used to join his roaring. And thousands times, millions times, it used to produce the roar of a lion. And that's how it indulges fear in the warriors of other side. Okay, so time is off. So we are stopping here. We did the recap from verse 12 to 20. Thank you all very much for your patientful hearing and enthusiastic participation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.